What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for a Thursday look at the weather situation across the United States for Thursday, October 17th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And of course, leave any of your questions or comments down below. Taking a look at the national satellite picture, you can see things are quiet for a large part of the country. We do have some unsettled weather in the west coast, and we do have this storm system which has developed off of the east coast, but it's far enough to the east. It's not really providing much in the way of weather, except for maybe some clouds in the Boston and the eastern portion of Long Island. It's actually kind of a shame that this storm system set up more east, because portions of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic region could really use the rain right now, but unfortunately, you're not going to get it from this, and as we go deeper into the forecast, you're going to see there's not much in the way of rainfall expected for the east. Taking a look at the national radar picture, you can barely make it out. It's just on the outer ranges of radar out in the Atlantic, and you can also see there is some weather ongoing out in the west. Yes, some mountain snows are now starting to come into the picture for portions of the west coast of the United States. In fact, you can see here there are all kinds of advisories and warnings up out on the west coast, and then in between we do have red flag warnings. Hey, remember, it has been really dry, and with that, the wildfire threat does continue. We're going to take a look at the drought situation in just a little bit. Eastern portions of the United States continue to be quiet. Places like Philadelphia, New York, Greensboro, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, quiet for you. You are seeing some cooler weather. Right now it's currently 61 degrees here in Philadelphia, and that pattern will change a little bit. Let's take a look at what is going on with the situation in terms of air qualities, and this has been problematic for so many people out on the west coast. It is starting to get a little bit better at this time, and you can see here that in the east it's not bad at all. Out on the west we still do have some yellows and a little bit of reds that are showing up, but nothing terribly concerning at this time. Alrighty, if you're in the east or anywhere where you're seeing clear skies, you may notice this. Yes, this is coming tonight and tomorrow night, and it is the October's Hunter's Moon. One of the brightest supermoons of the year is happening tonight and tomorrow night. So if you get the chance to go outside and see it, by all means do so, because it is going to be really spectacular. And if you have some pictures of it, post them on X, and you can even tag me at Climate Data Report, and I will reshare those pictures. Alright, Milton was a big deal in Florida. Millions of people lost power. Take a look at this. Down to just 27,722 people without power in Florida. That is a remarkable recovery when it comes to power, but of course the cleanup, the damage, it continues there, not just from Milton, but from Helene as well, and that extends all the way up into North Carolina for Helene. So my thoughts and prayers continue to be with you. Taking a look at the tropical situation, we can see just a 20% chance of formation in the Caribbean over the next 7 days. And remember that system that we were watching out in the Atlantic? The chance of it developing has dropped. It really hasn't done much. It's really disorganized, and it's going to interact with the island, so it's not going to do much of anything. Here's the latest look at satellite fort. You can see it is very disorganized. There's some shear. Yeah, not much is going to happen with it. Here's the global hurricane models. Yeah, it's going to go right into the islands, which, as you know, that means it is going to weaken. And take a look at some of the intensity guidance. Some of it does take it to a tropical storm, but really it's not. I'm not expecting much from it. We'll continue to watch it, though. I will have more if something does occur with it. Alright, take a look at this. This is the drought map. This is not good. You can see here, southeast Pennsylvania, New Jersey, drought conditions have expanded on today's update. Drought conditions continue across portions of Ohio Valley, and you can see places that dealt with Milton, Helene, and other hurricanes not dealing with any in the way of drought problems, but you continue up into the Northeast, and then you go out into the heartland and much of the rest of the country. Yeah, it is really dry across the United States. That storm system we're seeing in the mountains out west, that's actually providing some well-needed precipitation. But unfortunately, we're not going to get much in the way of precipitation in the east, especially the northeast, where we really do need the rainfall. I mean, we're way behind here in the Philadelphia area, as is many other areas. Let's take a look at the Weather Prediction Center, and I do need to refresh this to make sure it's up to date. And take a look here. Here's the days 1 through 7 precipitation. You can see that system that just missed the East Coast out in the Atlantic. If that was a little bit more west, we would have saw our fair share of precipitation, and it would have really helped out. We're not getting that. Look at this. Nothing over the next 1 through 7 days. Maybe just some minor showers from a frontal disturbance that's going to come through across the Great Lakes. You can see, though, there will be some heavier precipitation across portions of the Four Corners region, and there also is a marginal risk of severe weather there as well. Take a look at the Pacific Northwest. Some heavier rainfall for portions of Washington State, and maybe some moderate rainfall for Oregon, so that's something we'll be watching. And unfortunately for today, there is a critical risk of wildfires. Yes, fire potential is there in the plains today for October 17th. And checking out the severe weather situation for Friday, there is a marginal risk across portions of New Mexico, extreme western Texas and Oklahoma, and extreme southern portions of Colorado. And there is also another risk again for the same areas generally on Saturday, so that's something we'll have to watch. Generally, we're talking about a wind threat, though they do have 2% chance of a tornado with this as well. I think the bigger threat is going to be heavier rainfall, maybe even some flash flooding. Let's take a look at the NAM model, and you can see here's that system in the Atlantic that just missed the east. It's not doing us any good. It may just provide some clouds to the coast. You can also see here that here comes the threat of showers and thunderstorms from this system across portions of New Mexico. And then, of course, all the Four Corners region will see some precipitation, even some mountain snows. And let's see how much rainfall the NAM is actually spitting out here. And we can see generally 1 to 2 inches, maybe even localized 3-inch amounts. Take a look at Washington. Yes, that is some pretty heavy rainfall for the state of Washington. Dry and east, just some minor showers across western New York and northwest Pennsylvania. Now let's move on to the GFS model. And I'm going to show you here the next, we'll say 7 to 10 days. Maybe we'll go even further than that. Look at the east. Big old area of high pressure does set in for the weekend. What does that mean? Well, that means temperatures are going to warm up. You can see temperatures will go back into the mid-60s. And take a look at the plains. Yes, 70s, upper 70s for you, 80s for California. Pacific Northwest, like Seattle, you may be pretty chilly because it's going to be unsettled for you. And California, things are going to be generally around normal. And warm weather in Florida, Miami, mid to upper 80s for you as we head into next week. But as I continue this, you can see, though the warm weather will continue, you do see that there is another cool down that will happen again late next week. But watch what happens with that. That front comes through. Marginal precipitation. And we're going to take this out to 240 hours out. And I want to show you something. One thing that is very clear. Total precipitation. Hardly anything in the east. Okay, you're seeing this run. It's showing a little bit for Pennsylvania, but previous runs were drier. Look at that. So again, that's not enough to end the drought situation. And you can see here, there is that heavier rainfall that will occur across the Four Corners region and in southeast Colorado and portions of northeast New Mexico, but everywhere else not dealing with all that much in the way of precipitation, which is relatively concerning. Now let's take a look at the latest forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, and you're going to see here much of the country is above average. St. Louis, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, Western New York, Burlington, Vermont. I mean, I can just name on for the 6 to 10 day period, and it's going to be above average. However, that's not the same case for places like Washington, Seattle, Washington, Spokane, Washington, Portland, Oregon. Slightly below average temperatures for you. Precipitation. Up and along I-95 in the east, below average generally from Atlanta, Georgia, on up into North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston. Below average precipitation. Drought conditions will get worse. In fact, there's a couple records that we have to watch. One of them is in Philadelphia, the longest amount of period without any appreciable rainfall. I forget what the actual record is, but it's at risk of being broken. That's a huge record to break. It's over 100-year record. So if we don't get any measurable precipitation soon in that area, yes, it could be a problem. Let's go 8 to 14 days. Well above average temperatures. This is a change from the cool down that we're seeing in the east right now. It's going to change after this week. And we can see here, much of the southeast, Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, New Orleans, Tallahassee, Florida, even all the way up into Cincinnati, Ohio, and portions of Pennsylvania and the Northeast, above average temperatures, slightly below average on the West Coast, near normal near California, but below average in the Pacific Northwest. And then when we take a look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation, still below average along the East Coast. Below average then comes back into play for the Four Corners region. Slightly above average over Chicago and the Great Lakes. Slightly above average in Northern California. Generally the Bay Area on northward. And overall, I don't see a change in the pattern to a weather pattern in the east. Maybe as we head into November, that could change slightly, but overall dryness is going to continue, and places that are experiencing drought, aside from the Four Corners region, are not going to see much in the way of relief. So we're going to have to continue to watch the dryness, and of course the wildfire risk in these areas that are really dry is going to be elevated. All right, do you want to follow me when I'm not doing videos, because we don't do videos every day? You can go over to X. It is Climate Data Report, where you can follow me there. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you're new to my channel. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And of course, leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe and have a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Thanks for watching.